watching America's Sweethearts, which is about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders on Netflix, soon after watching Dancing for the Devil on Netflix, really made me realize how much of my dance journey growing up was filled with super Christian dancers and how that can make them a little bit more vulnerable to bad situations. Like, I think particularly in Dancing for the Devil, we see these dancers get exploited, and it's like in the name of the church and God, and really like all their money is going to this founder of this church. If you're a dancer, you understand, like, you go to so many conventions, you meet so many people from all around different states. Some of them are from the Bible Belt, some of them are from just anywhere across the states, and a lot of them will have like God first in their bio, and the second line is some sort of Bible scripture, and then the third line is dancer. It's really interesting. If you're a dancer, you probably, if you're about like 26, mid-20s, you know a lot of people that you grew up dancing with who are married now. And you may be in a place where you're like, what the actual fuck? Like, people are getting married right now? But then I remember how many of these people grew up in places like Dallas, or in places where, you know, marriage and faith and family and God was always first. Now, I was raised Catholic, but not like that. There's people who are getting married around my age who still live in like the small town where I'm from, but I wouldn't say a lot of people in Toronto who maybe even had a similar like upbringing to me are married yet. Like, that's kind of like Toronto's very much we're around 30, we're thinking about getting married now. Then you have someone like Reese, who is so stunning, so charismatic, and just so naturally bright. Granted, they are pretty cute together, and he was like, my life goal was pursuing this woman, which is such a green flag. But, you know, she's marrying her first boyfriend, and that's a very religious thing to do. And like, that's, you know, and I'm not throwing any shade to people who do that, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that is like such a culture of dance, and I don't think I realized it until literally this past year, when I've started to see people that I used to dance with in LA start to get married, and it be kind of confusing in my head, because specifically in LA, like, there is a little bit of an alternative feel and a little bit of there's a liberalness that when I went to college, it was so weird, you guys, because dancers will present, specifically in LA, will present themselves to be super liberal because that is like the culture there, but they are Bible thumpers, bro. And if they meet someone out there, they're getting married at 23. And like, me as somebody who, I don't know, for whatever reason, even though I was raised Catholic, like, just as, you know, me and my friends would never get married probably anytime soon. Like, that's just how we are in our heads. But culturally, so many dancers are actually so religious, and that is also why they can be a little bit okay, so this is a part that I don't know how to explain properly, okay? So bear with me, but like, these women are getting paid like $15 an hour. And part of the reason why that is kind of like working and okay is because part of what they say kind of reminds me of like Mormon, like BYU stuff, when they go to the graduation and everybody has an engagement ring. Like, and that's part of what I think Victoria was talking about. She was like, I feel so behind. It might not have been her, but one of them was talking about how they feel so behind because most of the DCC, when they graduate, they either have a ring on their finger or like an amazing other job or something other than this, which is like part of like the issue with dance, is that you have to be so amazing at dance, but even still, it's very rarely going to pay your bills alone to perform, or you normally have to do like a few different things. And the only ones, I think, the only like NBA team or sports team that's really eating and living off of their, or is even salaried at all, but is living and eating off their salary is, I think, the Nets or the Knicks. Which one is the one? It's orange. They've got 8 of them. and they're like slaying everything, and they do photo shoots and stuff like that. And a lady broke down their material and was like, they get like $88K a year or something. But that's taxed. And that's to be that good, right? That's to be like one of the best to dance for like a New York NBA team. You get 80 whatever K to be like the best of the best. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, in a place like Dallas, that totally works out because, you know, a lot of these girls can make $15 an hour because their husbands are going to make more than that. That being said, I'm not really sure what's up with her situation because she was like, he still needs to find a job. But, like, I'm sure he will find a job. And I guess it better be a good job. You know what I mean? Because they do have time to do other things, like, during the day. I think the practices are at night or something. But $15, like, minimum wage, pretty much, right? I don't know what minimum wage is in Dallas, but it's not good money. But these girls are all phenomenal, but because they also have the value, a lot of them, of like, they don't need to. Someone like this girl in particular, I forget her name, she has a ring as she's exiting her 5th year. So it's almost like when you see the BYU videos at the graduation, they have a ring on their finger. Like, this was like the launching pad sometimes, and sometimes a lot of them do meet their husbands there, which, like, you know, go off, I guess. It's like an interesting institution. What I'm saying is, I think a lot of times dance as an institution can interestingly funnel women into very like Christian fundamentalist lives and values, or sometimes like it just, for whatever reason, it goes hand in hand. Like, and if you grew up in the dance community, and it doesn't always though, like obviously so much dance is born out of being an outsider and like struggle and things like that. But certain institutions like Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, like they're funneling into like, oh, when are you getting married? Oh, when are you having a baby? Oh, okay, you were a Dallas cheerleader and now what? Because they age out or they gain a pound and they weigh them all the time. And it's like really sad. But also they look great. Okay? They look great, and like some of them look like they're having the time of their lives, and then some of them, is that Victoria over there? Actually, I don't think it is. Where's Victoria? I don't know. Some of them seem miserable because they're not fitting that standard of, I'm a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader and I have a perfect boyfriend who makes a lot of money, and then we're gonna get engaged and married, and then he's gonna take care of me, and I get to be like an amazing socialite / status holder who doesn't make it a lot of money because I don't need to bring in a lot of money because he brings in the money, because obviously, because I'm a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, so my social capital is being a DCC. Does that make any sense?